When it comes to understanding a man's feelings, it's rarely about the grand declarations or dramatic gestures we see in movies. More often, the truth lies in the quiet, almost invisible moments, the ones most people overlook because they seem so ordinary. Yet, it's in these subtle actions that his genuine emotions slip through. A man who truly likes you may not say the words outright, but his behavior will tell you everything you need to know if you know where to look. It's in the way his eyes search for yours the moment you walk into a room, the way his voice softens when he speaks to you, or the way he remembers things you mentioned only once. These aren't random acts. They're conscious or subconscious choices that reveal where his heart is leaning. He may be guarded with his words, careful not to come on too strong, but he can't hide the patterns of his attention and care. Every small detail he notices, every moment he chooses to be near you, is a quiet confession in its own way. These silent signs are powerful because they are sincere. They don't come from a need to impress, but from an honest desire to connect. They show up in daily life. A slight lean forward when you talk, a quick check-in text during a busy day, a smile that feels meant only for you. You won't always see them coming, and that's part of what makes them real. He isn't putting on a performance. He's simply revealing, bit by bit, how much you matter to him. What's interesting is that many of these actions happen without him even realizing the impact they have. When he adjusts his schedule just to cross paths with you, notices a small change in your appearance, or shares an inside joke only the two of you understand, he's creating a world that includes you at its center. These are not one-off moments. They are habits that form because being close to you feels natural, and thinking about you has become part of his everyday rhythm. In a fast-paced world where distractions are constant, paying attention to these little things becomes even more meaningful. Anyone can buy flowers or say, "I like you," but not everyone will consistently show up in the small, thoughtful ways that speak louder than any gift or compliment. These subtle gestures are like threads, weaving a deeper connection over time. So, if you've ever wondered how to tell if a man truly likes you without him saying the words, pay attention to the quiet signs. Look at how he listens, how he responds, and how he positions himself in your life. The truth is, a man's heart often speaks in whispers, and once you learn to hear them, you'll realize he's been telling you all along. This is where the real story begins, in the unspoken language of care, presence, and consistent attention. 1. He remembers small details you've shared. When someone remembers small details you've shared, it's often a subtle but powerful sign of genuine interest. It shows that they're not just hearing you. They're truly listening and paying attention to the things that matter to you. Maybe you once mentioned that you love a certain type of coffee, or that you used to have a pet when you were younger. Perhaps you talked about a movie you enjoyed, a place you'd like to visit, or a personal dream you're working toward. When he brings these little things up later, without you repeating them, it means he values your words and keeps them in his mind. This isn't just casual memory, it's selective attention. He's choosing to store these pieces of information because they're connected to you, and in his mind, they hold importance. Sometimes, it's in the way he uses these details to make you feel special. He might surprise you with that coffee you said you liked or ask you about that goal you mentioned weeks ago. These moments may feel small, but they carry a lot of emotional weight because they prove that your conversations have left an imprint on him. People often forget everyday chit-chat, but when he remembers something personal and specific, it signals that you stand out in his life. This habit also shows emotional investment. Remembering details takes mental effort, and he wouldn't bother if you didn't matter to him. It's his way of building a deeper connection, showing you that your likes, dislikes, and experiences are important enough to keep in mind. It also creates trust because you feel seen and understood on a personal level. In relationships, it's not always grand gestures that prove someone's care. It's these consistent, quiet acts of remembering that reveal the depth of their interest. Over time, you'll notice that the more he values you, the more details he recalls, and the more these memories shape the way he interacts with you. It's a sign that his attention is anchored to you, and that your presence has made a lasting place in his thoughts. 2. He makes eye contact often and holds it longer. When a man makes eye contact often and holds it longer than usual, it's one of the clearest nonverbal signs that he's genuinely interested in you. Eye contact is a powerful form of silent communication. It creates a sense of intimacy without a single word being spoken. A brief glance can be polite, but when his eyes linger on yours, it shows he's intentionally trying to connect with you on a deeper level. It's as if he's silently saying, "I see you, and I want you to know that I'm fully present in this moment with you." This type of eye contact can make you feel both noticed and important. It's not just a quick look while you're talking. It's the kind that feels steady and unhurried, where you can sense his focus is locked entirely on you. He isn't distracted by what's going on around the room, his phone, or other people passing by. His attention is anchored to your eyes, creating a subtle but strong emotional bridge. Sometimes, he might combine that gaze with a gentle smile or a slight softening of his facial expression, which makes the moment feel even warmer. This shows that the connection is not about dominance or intimidation, but about genuine affection and interest. Prolonged eye contact also signals confidence. He feels comfortable enough around you to let his guard down and show vulnerability through his eyes. Eye contact is also a way to read emotions without asking questions. When you're speaking, he might hold your gaze to show he's listening closely, absorbing not just your words but your feelings. When he's the one talking, he may keep looking into your eyes to see how you're responding, as if your reaction truly matters to him. In a world full of distractions, someone who chooses to meet your eyes and stay there is giving you a rare gift of undivided attention. Over time, these moments of prolonged eye contact can make you feel more connected, more understood, and more certain that his interest goes beyond surface-level attraction. It's a silent but deeply telling sign that you matter to him. 3. He mirrors your gestures and tone. When a man mirrors your gestures and tone, it's often an unconscious yet powerful sign that he feels connected to you. Mirroring happens when someone subtly copies your body language, speech patterns, or even the rhythm of your movements. It's not about mocking or imitation. It's a natural human behavior that occurs when we feel comfortable and in sync with another person. If you lean forward while talking, he might do the same without realizing it. If you rest your hand on the table, he might mirror that position moments later. These little reflections create a sense of harmony between you, making the interaction feel effortless and smooth. This kind of physical and verbal alignment sends a silent message: "I'm on the same wavelength as you." It helps build rapport and trust because it signals that he's tuned in to you emotionally. Mirroring often goes beyond body language. You might notice that he starts using similar words or expressions as you, or that his tone of voice matches yours, soft when you're speaking gently, more animated when you're excited. It's his way of matching your energy, which can make you feel understood and valued. What makes mirroring so significant is that it's rarely forced. Most people don't consciously decide to do it. It's an instinctive response to liking someone or wanting to get closer to them. In a romantic context, it's his body's way of aligning with yours, almost like a dance you're both taking part in without needing choreography. This subtle behavior also deepens the sense of connection. When someone reflects your gestures and tone, your brain naturally perceives them as more familiar and trustworthy. That's why conversations with him might feel smoother and more engaging, because he's quite literally moving in sync with you. Over time, you may notice this mirroring happening more often, especially during meaningful or emotionally charged moments. It's a quiet, steady signal that he's not just listening with his ears but also responding with his whole presence. Whether he realizes it or not, his actions are telling you that he's drawn to you and wants to stay emotionally aligned. 4. He finds excuses to be near you. When a man finds excuses to be near you, it's one of the most telling signs that he enjoys your presence and wants to be part of your world. This behavior goes beyond coincidence. It's intentional, even if he tries to make it look casual. He might just happen to pass by your desk at work more often than necessary, linger in the same area you're in during a social gathering, or choose a seat next to you when there are plenty of other options. These moments may seem small, but they reveal a deliberate effort to place himself within your space. Often, these excuses are wrapped in everyday interactions so they don't feel obvious. He might say he needs to ask you a quick question, borrow something, or help you with a minor task. In reality, the real reason is that being close to you feels good to him. Your presence makes him feel comfortable, energized, or simply happier, and he looks for reasons, however small, to experience that more often. You might also notice that he times his movements to align with yours. If you're walking to the kitchen, he suddenly remembers he needs water. If you're stepping outside, he decides he could use some fresh air too. These aren't always planned days in advance. Sometimes it's spontaneous, but the motivation is the same: proximity to you. This closeness isn't only about physical distance. It's also about emotional presence. When he's near, he may use the opportunity to start small conversations, share a laugh, or simply enjoy the quiet comfort of being around you. Over time, these chance encounters can become a pattern you start to notice. And once you do, it's hard to unsee. Being near someone we like is a natural human instinct, and for him, it's a way to feel connected without making a big declaration. Each excuse he finds to be around you is another piece of evidence that you matter to him, even if he hasn't said it outright. In those moments, his actions speak louder than words, telling you he values your presence enough to seek it out again and again. 5. He adjusts his schedule to match yours. When a man adjusts his schedule to match yours, it's a strong sign that you hold a special place in his priorities. This isn't just about convenience. It's about making time for you, even when it requires effort or rearranging his plans. If he learns you'll be at a certain event, he might make sure he's free to attend as well. If he knows you have a specific lunch break, he might align his so you can share that time together. These small but deliberate adjustments show that he values opportunities to be with you and is willing to shift his life around to make it happen. This behavior often happens quietly. He might not announce that he's changing his schedule for you, but you'll start to notice patterns. He's suddenly available when you are, or he suggests meetups that fit perfectly with your free time. It's not coincidence, it's intention. He's making you part of his routine without making it seem forced, which can make the connection feel more natural. Adjusting his schedule also means he's paying attention to your life. He remembers when you're busy, when you're free, and what times are important to you. This shows thoughtfulness and a willingness to invest time, which is one of the most valuable things a person can give. Time is something we can't get back. So when he chooses to align his with yours, it speaks volumes about where you stand in his life. It also reflects his desire to create shared moments. Whether it's grabbing a morning coffee together, joining you for an evening walk, or making sure you attend the same social gatherings, these adjustments give him more opportunities to deepen the bond between you. Over time, this kind of effort can turn casual acquaintance into meaningful closeness. In a busy world where everyone's schedules are packed, choosing to rearrange plans for someone is no small gesture. It's a quiet but powerful way of saying, "You matter enough for me to make time." And when someone consistently makes time for you, it's one of the clearest signs that you're more than just another person in their day. You're someone they truly want to be around. 6. He remembers your favorite things. When a man remembers your favorite things, it's a clear sign that he's paying close attention to who you are and what matters to you. These favorite things could be anything: the kind of tea you drink, the perfume you wear, your go-to comfort food, your preferred movie genre, or even the type of flowers you love. The fact that he not only notices but stores this information in his mind shows that your happiness is important to him. It's not about making grand gestures every time. Sometimes it's simply about recalling these details in conversations or everyday moments. You might casually mention once that you love a certain dessert, and weeks later, he surprises you with it without you bringing it up again. Or you could talk about a song you enjoy, and he later sends it to you or plays it when you're together. These thoughtful actions prove that he listens with intention, not just out of politeness. He's filtering through everything you say and holding on to the pieces that feel personal and meaningful. Remembering your favorites also means he's looking for ways to make you feel seen. Anyone can give a generic gift or suggest a random activity, but when he chooses something tied directly to your preferences, it shows effort. It's his way of saying, "I see you, I know you, and I care enough to remember." This makes your connection feel more personal and unique. This kind of attention also signals emotional investment. He's not just passing time with you. He's actively building a mental picture of what makes you happy. That means in his mind, you're not just another person. you're someone worth learning about in detail. Over time, these small acts can carry more weight than dramatic declarations of love. When he remembers and acts on your favorite things, he's showing you that he values your individuality. It's not just about the item or the activity, it's about the feeling behind it, that you matter enough for him to notice, remember, and act on the little things that make you smile. 7. He checks in with short messages or calls. When a man checks in with short messages or calls, it's a gentle but meaningful sign that you're on his mind. These check-ins don't have to be long or dramatic. Sometimes it's just a quick, "How's your day going?" or "Did you get home safely?" Other times, it might be a funny meme, a short voice note, or a simple "good morning." The point isn't the length of the message, but the consistency behind it. He's reaching out because he wants to stay connected, even during busy moments in his day. These small gestures often carry more weight than people realize. They show that he doesn't need a special occasion or an elaborate reason to think about you. You're naturally part of his thoughts. Whether he's at work, running errands, or spending time with friends, something will remind him of you, and he'll reach out. That's not accidental. It's a sign of genuine care. Calls and messages like this also serve as a way to bridge the gaps between the times you see each other. They keep the bond alive, turning the relationship into an ongoing conversation rather than something that only exists in person. Over time, these moments of contact can build a sense of security and intimacy because you know he'll find a way to reach out no matter how small the update might be. Sometimes, he might use these check-ins to offer support, asking how a meeting went, wishing you luck on something you mentioned, or checking if you're feeling better after a rough day. This shows that he's not only listening when you talk but also remembering and following up, which deepens trust. In a world full of distractions, someone who takes even a minute to call or text you is making a conscious choice. Those quick connections are his way of saying, "You matter to me, and I want you to know I'm here." It's not the size of the message that counts. It's the thought, the timing, and the quiet consistency that make it clear you're important to him. 8. He notices changes in your appearance. When a man notices changes in your appearance, it's a strong sign that he's paying close attention to you. These changes could be as obvious as a new haircut or as subtle as a different shade of lipstick, a fresh nail color, or even the way you've styled your outfit. The key here is that he doesn't just see you, he observes you. He's tuned in enough to pick up on the little details that others might overlook, and he takes the time to acknowledge them. Sometimes, this shows up in small, passing comments. "Did you change your perfume? It smells nice," or "That color really suits you." These remarks may seem simple, but they reveal that he's taking mental snapshots of how you usually look and instantly noticing when something changes. It's not about vanity, it's about attentiveness. When he notices, it's often paired with genuine appreciation. He might smile a little longer, give you an extra glance, or subtly compliment you in a way that makes you feel seen. Even without words, his body language might shift. Maybe he straightens up, makes more eye contact, or his expression softens when he takes in the change. This attention to detail also shows that he values you enough to keep you in focus. People are surrounded by countless faces every day, but when he remembers the specifics of your appearance and picks up on even the smallest changes, it means you stand out to him. It also hints at emotional connection. He's not just looking, he's noticing because he cares. Over time, this behavior builds a quiet kind of intimacy. You feel more confident knowing that your efforts don't go unnoticed, and he feels more connected because he's engaged with your presence in a deeper way. When someone regularly notices the little changes, they're showing that you're important enough to remain in their awareness, not just when you're right in front of them, but even in the small ways you choose to present yourself. It's an unspoken but powerful sign of interest. 9. He shares inside jokes only you two understand. When a man shares inside jokes only you two understand, it's a sign that he values a unique connection with you, one that's just yours. Inside jokes aren't created overnight. They are built from shared experiences, funny moments, or little observations that become part of your personal language. It might start with something you both laughed about once, but over time, it turns into a go-to reference that instantly brings a smile to your faces. These jokes create a small, private world between you. Even in a crowded room, one word, gesture, or playful comment can send both of you into laughter while others have no idea what's going on. That kind of shared humor builds a sense of closeness because it's something no one else can fully be part of. It's your own little bubble. When he uses these jokes, it's more than just being funny. It's his way of reinforcing the bond between you and reminding you of moments you've enjoyed together. It's also a subtle way of saying, we share something special, without having to say it outright. These moments often pop up when you least expect them, during a text exchange, in the middle of a serious conversation, or when you're both dealing with something stressful. They can instantly lighten the mood and pull you back into a place of comfort and connection. Over time, the more inside jokes you share, the more it feels like you have your own rhythm and chemistry. This habit also shows that he's attentive and remembers your shared history. Every inside joke is proof that he listens, observes, and stores away those little interactions because they matter to him. And when someone makes the effort to keep that playful connection alive, it's a clear sign they enjoy not just your company, but the unique relationship you've built together, one that feels effortless, fun, and just for the two of you. 10. He subtly defends you in conversations. When a man subtly defends you in conversations, it's a strong sign that he cares about you and respects your dignity. This doesn't always mean jumping in with loud arguments or making a dramatic scene. In fact, the most telling signs are often quiet and composed. He might gently correct misinformation about you, redirect the conversation if someone speaks negatively, or offer a supportive comment that reinforces your value in front of others. This kind of defense is thoughtful and controlled. He's not trying to cause conflict or embarrass anyone. He's simply making sure you're treated fairly. Sometimes it's as subtle as changing the subject to steer away from criticism, or backing up your opinion with facts in a respectful way. These moments might pass quickly, but they show he's tuned in to how you're being perceived and wants to protect your image. Often, this behavior happens when you're not even aware of it. He might stand up for you in a group you're not part of at the moment, defending your actions or character when you can't speak for yourself. If you do hear about it later, it can be surprising but deeply meaningful, because it's a sign he values you enough to speak up, even when you're not watching. Subtly defending you also builds trust. It shows that he's on your side and willing to have your back without making it about ego or recognition. He's not doing it to score points or show off. He's doing it because he genuinely believes you deserve respect. Over time, these small moments of quiet loyalty add up. You start to feel more secure knowing that he's someone who won't stay silent if you're being treated unfairly. And while he may not always make a big deal of it, his consistent readiness to defend you in a measured, thoughtful way sends a clear message. Your well-being and reputation matter to him, and is willing to stand by you in both subtle and significant ways. 11. He leans in when you speak. When a man leans in when you speak, it's a natural, instinctive sign that is genuinely engaged in the conversation and values what you're saying. This gesture goes beyond basic politeness. It's a physical cue that is tuning out distractions and focusing entirely on you. Leaning in shortens the distance between you, creating a feeling of closeness and connection, even in a crowded or noisy space. This body language often happens without conscious thought. When someone is deeply interested, they instinctively move closer to hear better, see your expressions more clearly, and feel more connected. It's his way of showing that your words matter and that he doesn't want to miss a single detail. You might notice him doing it not just in quiet, intimate moments, but even in group settings where leaning toward you means he's prioritizing your presence over others. Leaning in also creates a subtle sense of intimacy. It signals trust and comfort, as well as a willingness to share personal space. If he does it often, it suggests he feels drawn to you and enjoys being physically closer, even in small ways. You might also notice other accompanying cues, a soft smile, steady eye contact, or tilting his head slightly toward yours, which can all deepen the feeling of connection. This action can also be about emotional investment. By leaning in, he's showing that he's not just hearing you, but actively listening and processing what you're saying. Whether you're sharing a funny story, opening up about something personal, or discussing everyday life, his posture communicates, I'm here with you, and what you're saying matters to me. Over time, consistent leaning in when you speak becomes a silent but powerful habit. It's not flashy or overly obvious, but it's deeply telling. In a world full of distractions, someone who physically moves closer to give you their undivided attention is showing real interest, not just in your words, but in you as a person. It's a small gesture with a big message. You have his focus, and he wants to keep that connection alive. 12. He listens without interrupting. When a man listens without interrupting, it's one of the clearest signs that he respects you and values what you have to say. In today's world, where people often rush to respond or steer conversations toward themselves, someone who stays silent and truly listens stands out. This kind of listening means he's not just waiting for his turn to talk. He's fully present, absorbing your words, and giving you space to express yourself without feeling rushed or dismissed. You'll notice that his attention stays steady. He maintains eye contact, nods at the right moments, and responds thoughtfully when you finish speaking. He's not glancing at his phone, fidgeting, or letting his gaze wander. Instead, he's giving you his full focus. This shows that your thoughts and feelings are important enough for him to put everything else aside, even for a few minutes. Listening without interrupting also demonstrates emotional maturity. It takes patience and genuine care to let someone speak freely, especially if the conversation is emotional, complex, or deeply personal. By holding back and giving you the floor, he's showing that he's there to understand, not to dominate the exchange. Sometimes, his silence isn't just about hearing words, it's about sensing what's behind them. A good listener picks up on your tone, your pauses, and your body language, all of which can reveal just as much as your actual sentences. This level of attention makes you feel safe opening up, because you know you won't be cut off or brushed aside. When he finally does respond, it's with answers or reactions that show he's been following closely. He might refer back to something you said earlier, ask clarifying questions, or offer support that fits exactly what you were talking about. Over time, this habit of listening without interruption builds trust and deepens your bond. It tells you that you're not just heard, you're understood. And in a world where genuine listening is rare, his ability to give you that kind of attention is a quiet but powerful sign of interest and care. 13. He remembers important dates. When a man remembers important dates, it's a clear sign that you hold a meaningful place in his life. These dates could be big milestones, like your birthday or anniversary, or smaller, more personal moments, such as the day you first met, your favorite holiday, or the date of an event you were nervous about. The fact that he stores these in his memory and brings them up at the right time shows that he's paying attention and values the moments that matter to you. Remembering important dates isn't just about having a good memory. It's about emotional investment. He chooses to keep track of these days because they're connected to you, and he knows they carry meaning. Even if he's busy, he makes the effort to acknowledge them, whether that's through a thoughtful message, a small gift, or simply being present to share the moment with you. Sometimes, he might surprise you by recalling a date you didn't expect him to remember. Maybe you once mentioned the day you achieved something you were proud of, or the anniversary of a loved one's passing. When he acknowledges those, it shows a deeper level of empathy and care. He's not just keeping track of the obvious celebrations, but also the days that shape who you are. These gestures create a sense of security in the relationship. Knowing that is tuned into your timeline makes you feel valued and appreciated. It's a quiet way of saying, your life matters to me, and I'm paying attention to the details. Over time, this habit of remembering important dates builds trust and strengthens your bond. It's proof that is not just present in your day-to-day life, but also committed to honoring the moments that define your journey. And while grand gestures are nice, the simple act of remembering and showing up for meaningful dates can speak volumes about how much you truly mean to him. 14. He smiles when you enter the room. When a man smiles when you enter the room, it's one of the warmest and most genuine signs that he's happy to see you. This reaction is often instant and unplanned. His face lights up the moment his eyes find you, as if your presence alone changes the atmosphere for him. It's not the polite, automatic smile people give out of habit, but one that feels real, soft, and personal, carrying a spark that's meant just for you. This kind of smile sends a powerful message without words. It says, I'm glad you're here, and it often reveals emotions he might not openly express yet. You might notice that even in a crowded place, his expression shifts noticeably the second you appear. That quick transformation is a subtle but telling clue that you hold a special place in his thoughts. Sometimes, this smile is accompanied by other body language. Maybe he straightens his posture, his eyes widen slightly, or his shoulders relax. These are all subconscious signals that your presence puts him at ease and brings him genuine joy. Even if he's in the middle of a serious conversation or a stressful moment, that small curve of his lips when you arrive can be a giveaway of how much he likes you. This reaction also creates a sense of emotional connection. When you see someone smile just because you walked in, it makes you feel valued and appreciated. It's a simple gesture, but it carries weight because it's pure and instinctive. He's not doing it to impress anyone or gain something. It's simply how he feels in the moment. Over time, these smiles become part of your shared dynamic. They can make you feel more comfortable, more confident, and more aware of his feelings, even if they're unspoken. In a world where words can be carefully chosen, a genuine smile at your arrival is one of the most honest signs of affection and interest, because it comes straight from the heart, without any filter. 15. He uses small touches to connect. When a man uses small touches to connect, it's a subtle yet powerful way of showing interest and affection. These touches aren't necessarily bold or obvious. They're often gentle, casual, and woven naturally into your interactions. It could be a light brush of his hand against yours when passing something, a brief touch on your back as you walk through a doorway, or a quick tap on your arm when he's making a point. They may seem minor, but they carry a lot of emotional weight because they break the barrier of personal space in a way that feels comfortable and safe. Small touches like these are often instinctive rather than planned. They happen because he feels drawn to you and wants to create a sense of closeness without making it awkward or overwhelming. Physical contact is a basic human way to bond, and when done subtly, it can communicate warmth, protection, and connection without a single word being spoken. You might also notice that these touches tend to happen in moments of shared laughter, encouragement, or support. For example, he might touch your shoulder when you've done something impressive or lightly guide you through a crowded place. These gestures signal that he's not only aware of you but actively looking for ways to bridge the gap between you physically. What makes this especially meaningful is the consistency. If he finds small, respectful ways to connect through touch over time, it shows that being close to you feels natural to him. He's comfortable enough to let his actions speak for his feelings, even if he hasn't said them out loud yet. In a world where physical boundaries matter, these gentle, intentional touches become a language of their own. They can say, "I'm here," "I've got you," or "I enjoy being close to you," all without breaking the flow of conversation. When these moments happen regularly, they often reveal a growing attraction and emotional bond that's building quietly but steadily beneath the surface.